Hi everybody, this is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. So today I want to talk a little bit more about what the Sirius Gateway is in reference to. Regardless of where you currently are, this is about liberation and freedom. Now, liberation and freedom is self-giving. It cannot be given from another individual. You cannot receive liberation or freedom within this reality without discovering it on your own. So that means that you have to be on the path to self-discovery to have complete liberation and freedom. Liberation and freedom works because, or it is in reference to you freeing yourself from illusions of space and of time. So at every given moment, we are being guided to increase our own awareness in order to increase our state of being. Yet, in certain times, higher waves of light will be emitted, nudging us even further into our own personal evolution of self-discovery in accordance to the divine plan. As mentioned in my video yesterday, Sirius is also known as the spiritual sun. And it goes with the phrase, the dog days of summer, which indicates the hot and dry weather ahead, which also coincides with the flooding of the Nile River. Now, after I made that video yesterday, and I began going about my day, I want to let you know how I began to feel. Flooded. I began sneezing a lot. My head became foggy. I was a little bit dizzy. My equilibrium was a little bit off. My nose, at the result of me sneezing, was just completely draining. I couldn't catch it enough. And we know sometimes when we are sneezing a lot throughout the day, it can make us feel a little bit feverishy. Now, I am not a medical doctor, and I might even go ahead and talk about that in a second. But you do whatever you feel is necessary for your process. We can't hold judgment against ourselves. We can't be negative towards whatever it is that we choose to do in our life. Everything is about pure intention. If you are not feeling well and you take medication, whatever it is that you do, set the pure intention around what you're doing. I don't usually go to the doctors any longer. I don't believe in that idea any longer. I believe in self-healing. That's how I got away from my chronic pain, my depression, overcame those addictions that I picked up as a result of my auto accident and injuries. But anyway, do what you feel is necessary to give yourself a little bit of relief. If you need relief, go ahead. I ended up taking an allergy pill. I did, because yesterday was a day that we were spending with the family, and I really began to feel low. I set the intention for what I was doing, taking an allergy pill, to help me, to serve me for its greatest. And it did. We get into trouble when we're doing something that we know that is wrong for us, and we have that negative thought, which creates a negative effect later on. You have to have a pure thought about what you're doing, and it will always work in your favor. So as I went about my day yesterday and made that video and began to think about things, it's like, oh my gosh, seriously, here we are again, Christine. You failed to realize this in your video, but it's okay. It's helped me out in this video today. Every time you have an awareness and make a connection, you receive something. Because you are in the process of self-discovery. You have to understand something to discover something about you. So the Nile River is also associated with our spine. Okay? The flooding of the Nile River signifies that the spinal fluid can now rise above the 33rd vertebrae, where it mixes with your cerebral fluid, and creates that special cocktail, CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. And that is what raises our consciousness. That spiritual cocktail that in time is going to flood the brain, open up all of the centers, begin activating those centers, awakening them even further, purifying them even further. Now, depending on where you are, is what is going to take place. Then the brain, as it is functioning and the CSF is floating through your brain, it goes back down into your spine, and the cycle continuously moves up and down, up and down, up and down. Those who have allowed the lunar cycle to raise above their solar plexus can be at this level. This, again, everything has levels, and even levels about within those. We have cycles of 3. It comes in the cycles of 3. And in order to have complete illumination, or the birth of Christ, we definitely have to have the understanding of the Holy Father and Holy Mother through the 3 layers of the hero gamos. This brings on the 3 layers of those eggs. It goes from one egg to the next egg to the cosmic egg, solar egg or cosmic egg, which in time, the golden egg, which in time births Christ consciousness. Everything in layers, in cycles of 3. So the spinal fluid can only rise above the 33rd vertebrae through complete surrender and the decision to be of full service to humanity as part of the divine plan. And this is as a result of you choosing love continuously. Your body, you don't have to speak, hey, this is what I want, God. Your actions, your dedication to your path is what dictates what's going to happen within your body at all given times. So this is what it means to sacrifice oneself for a greater cause as Christ did. The crucifixion takes place at the base of the skull at Golgotha, which means base of the skull. To crucify means to increase in power. This is when the spinal fluid mixes with the cerebellum fluid and creates that beautiful cocktail that sends off those firing signals within your brain, again awakening all of those centers within. So I know that I have been healing the Holy Mother still. I have been having places within my body. The left side works with the right side of the brain, which is the feminine aspects of self, which is also at the higher level connected to the Holy Mother principle. The right side, of course, is the masculine, works with the masculine side of the brain, which at the higher level works with the Holy Father principle. You make an X within. At the very center of you is the connection, which is also at 0 point, where everything is unified. So I have had a block that I have been trying to free up for maybe 2 weeks, and it progressively got worse, and yesterday was one of the worst days of this blockage. I could barely move this area of my body, and it was my knee, so let me just say my knee. I could barely bend it. Yesterday I had difficulty going up and down the stairs. I couldn't squat down like I normally can. I got to the point of being very flexible prior to this blockage. I cleared it yesterday. No, I'm sorry, I cleared it just this morning. Why? Self-realization of my path. I was able to clear it because I realize that where I currently am, in accordance to what is taking place astrologically. When you learn about your path, whether it's because you're hearing it from somebody, you're reading about it, and it makes a deeper connection within you. If you are experiencing symptoms, the symptom will move when you understand your path, because now you're not resisting. When you can understand something and flow a little bit more, that's what I just said, you flow. The energy can flow and therefore rise a little bit. Now also at the higher levels of this connection here, because we have merged with that sacred parent principle, what begins to build, and this is what I have been experiencing myself, is kind of like a boiling point within the sacral sacrum. This, of course, is where the Kundalini energy can really rise. It rises and builds and purifies. It starts. You're healing that center. And also the sacral sacrum heals the fallen mother within us. That aspect has to be healed within you. When you have healed it, though, it allows that center, again, to create this boiling point where in time it's going to, whenever you're ready, it's going to push up the energy from the sacral all the way up into the crown, bursting. How did I phrase that? So the CSF must fire or shoot like a serpent strikes into the rest of the brain to increase one's states of consciousness in order to experience their true inner presence. The brain must be awakened by the firing strikes. This awakens the senses that are better equipped to pick up on vibrations or sound, so information. When the senses are fully awakened, you become gods and goddesses. A god and a goddess is a fully erected human being that knows oneself at a state of balance and peace within. This comes in layers. You might experience a bursting of the crown because you are at the beginning phases or middle phases of your ascension process. If you go back to my video about the 7 levels of initiations a few months back, please, when you're doing a search, put in the title followed by the Intimate Warrior, and it will bring up that video. I expressed in that video that I finally had the bursting of the crown. You do not become or experience the crucifixion within you until you have the bursting of the crown. The bursting of the crown signifies that you are in that. You are in the death period. You have to witness your own death within the spirit realm. The bursting of my crown and the visualization of what I experienced was so real. I felt myself dying. I was actually set on fire. I jumped in a pool. And because of the way that I was on fire, I became a bomb. My body, I jumped into the water. The amount of heat within me and then the coolness of the water didn't cool me down. It exploded. It created an explosion. You have to have that prior to your resurrection, of course. And that is going to be it'll take however long, because there's still tons of inner balance that's going to take place. Please keep in mind, please keep this inside of your heart, to not try to rush your path. You are exactly where you are supposed to be in this very moment. Yet, the more that you stay within love, being more mindful of your thoughts and more aware of your emotions at all given times, seeing yourself in your reality, the more that you can observe yourself, witness yourself, how you respond to everything, how you see everything in your reality, the quicker you can move. But it also takes what you are going through. It also takes what is taking place astrologically to happen. As above, so below. Micro to macro. So I wanted to give you that idea, more in reference to the flooding of the Nile River. Now although this gateway is open now, remember, time in readiness and understanding is what matters. Just because the portal is open, which this is also going to extend on until after the Lionsgate portal, because Sirius, this is the theme. Sirius will also merge us over into the Lionsgate. But that doesn't mean that your path will not be extended until sometime after this point. But it takes this point, what is taking place astrologically, to begin your process, to urge you, nudge you, convince you to continuously move forward in your path. As you continuously find presence through this portal, and of course, continuing on through the Lionsgate portal, you may receive major downloads, which will awaken you even further into your truth. Now, as you create stillness, you may have visuals, You may pick up on sound and vibrations and knowingness, of course. But keep in mind, as you shut your eyes and light reflects within your eyes, you will also be able to pick up on light codes that you ordinarily can't see unless your eyes are closed. So, for instance, if you are looking at a light, don't stare, or even the sun. Don't directly stare at the sun. Kind of look, but don't look. And you close your eyes, or even look away into a shadowy spot. Light is going to reflect an image there. Those are light codes. So, but even if you're not looking at the sun and trying to see if you're getting downloads, your eyes, you are receiving a light code. But your eyes are able to pick it up, is what I am trying to say. And you are receiving, no matter where you are on your journey at this given moment of time. If you are open to this type of understanding, if you are awakening to your truth, you are receiving great information about this. And so I have had some kind of information being given to me, and I hope to, in time, have more understanding about it. It's awakening me up more to my inner truth, of course, and if you are feeling a connection to me, this is more than likely a part of your path as well, and in time you will have more understanding in regards to it. Until then, have patience. Stay within faith. Trust your path. Stay centered in love. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.